if you were to give advice to someone here at Goddard that you would like to see begin to think about using this in their own area, what would that beginner's mind advice be? Like, what would you want them to come in here and be thinking about, as well as then what would be your first tip you would tell them as just starting out?
Okay, if somebody's interested and wants to know about 3D printing or additive manufacturing, I would say don't just run out and get a printer. Everyone thinks you have to have a printer in front of you in your lab, on your desk, and depending on your situation, you might not have enough money to spend on a good one that's worth it. You want to tinker and play around at home in your garage? Yes, by all means, that's fun. But in a professional sense, I think it's more about how are you going to generate the models. So you need a program that you can generate useful models. A lot of times you just download stuff off the web, and that's fine. You don't need that, and then you just need a decent slicer. But you don't necessarily need to own a printer. There's people here that you can use their printer like me and play around with. And more importantly, another lesson I learned is there's all kinds of companies who will print for you. Once you create the model, and it's what you want, you just upload this model to these companies and they will print it out for you in all kinds of materials for cheap. Example with this one, I said this company we used, they printed this out in nylon. This was $80, but it's large. I had something about this big, that's small, but maybe about half an inch by an eighth of an inch. Two of those cost me $3.12. I mean, so you don't have to go buy a printer. If you want to get into this, you can have things made by other people first. And I would advise you to learn a little bit about that first before you go buy one. There's a lot of good resources that do comparisons of printers. If you really want to have a printer and play around with it, get one. But if it's for work, go make use of other people's printers first before you decide to go out and buy one. And then think about a good slicer. You don't have to buy a good slicer right away. And some printers have decent slicers. Some slicers are good for specific printers. We decided to actually get a third-party, high-end professional slicer, which cost about $140, but it's just night and day. I had a friend who had a printer, kind of tinkering around. He loved it. It would take hours just for a slicer to generate the program, and he had all kinds of prints that were not very acceptable. And I told him to try this, and he said, "My printer's quieter, it's faster, it only takes seconds." He goes, "Wow, this is like light years ahead." Really just had a lousy slicer that came